and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mark, can you hear us?
Yes.
Okay. So, okay.
Roll call?
Yes.
Roll call. Mark Sicarda,
Here.
Scott Corner,
Here.
Mary Nordbeck,
Here.
Caroline Wilson,
Here.
Julie Sorensen, here, all present. Marked by phone.
Okay, I didn't know whether to add this item to the agenda, and so I am going to explain what the item is, and then we can determine if we need to add it. It was a correspondence that I received from Livingston County yesterday, late in the morning, and I didn't see it, regarding the apportionment committee and this whole deadline issue. If you just bear with me for a minute, I'm going to read it. It's from the Livingston County Clerk to all of the other county clerks. The Livingston colleagues, the Livingston County Apportionment Commission met this morning. Mr. David Stoker of Cole, Stoker and Toskey provided our members an update in regards to options available to county apportionment commissions in light of the conflicting opinions on what the official release date of the census data is. He provided our apportionment commission with two options. First, we can adopt a plan prior to the October 11, 2021 deadline in case a court ultimately determines the August 12th as the official release date of the data. We then would need to hold a second meeting after October 17th before November 15th to adopt the same plan again. This option requires the county clerk to submit the same plan 2 times to the Secretary of State. The second option available to us is to petition the Court of Appeals for an extension pursuant to MCL 46.407. So this whole determination of the deadline, I think if we stay on target with our October 11th, they basically are asking us if we want to join their, they're going to be doing something, and hang on, let me finish reading, I'm sorry. The Livingston County Apportionment Committee unanimously passed a motion instructing our legal counsel to petition the Court of Appeals for an extension, and she gave the MCL. Mr. Stoker asked members of our apportionment commission if we would allow other counties to join our petition if other counties requested. So this is in no means her, pushing us to do so or anything. She is making this available to us. And so I did not know if this was an item we wanted, if I needed to put it on the agenda to make a determination, if we wanted to have conversation, because then I would accept a motion to add whether we join the Livingston County Apportionment Commission's motion to appeal, or if we just continue on with our deadline, and I have no problem resubmitting things twice to the state if we stay with the October 12th, 11th deadline.
Why don't we table until after we look at the maps and see where we're at?
But to approve the agenda, we can.
Well, no, we can approve the agenda and then just table that option, and maybe we want to do that after we look at maps, see where we're at.
Well, then I'll accept a motion to have it on the agenda for discussion at the end of the agenda.
Are you making that motion?
I'm
then,
making
Mary?
that motion.
I'll second that.
It makes sense because we can discuss the maps and we might find that we have a good map.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? Okay. Any opposed, same sign? Okay. Then we will put that on the agenda. Okay, so this is the opportunity for anyone in the public to speak. Do we have anyone that would like to talk to us? Hearing none, we will move on. Mark, we do have some people in from the public, just so you know.
Thank you.
We need to make sure that the minutes notate he's here via,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Okay. I will accept a motion to approve the minutes from the September 21st, 2021 Apportionment Committee meeting. Any change, I accept the
I'll make a
motion.
motion to accept the minutes as written.
Any corrections and or discussion of those minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign? Okay, that carries. Okay, I will accept a motion to amend the Shiawassee County Apportionment Commission Rules of Procedure.
I'll make that motion.
Scott makes that motion. Second, anyone?
I'll second.
Mary seconds. Okay, so in reading through these once again and never being through this before, a lot of counties are sharing material. And as I was going through and assisting another county yesterday with her maps on the tool that the Bureau has provided, we noticed and we do have this handed out, Scott, I'm sorry, Mark, it was late in the day I discovered this. In item B, when it talks about under 7B, 7 copies of detailed census information that clearly indicates the population figures in each proposed district shall be made available. 1 copy shall be used for verification purposes. 1 copy shall be made available in the office of the county clerk for inspection purposes. The portion I would like to amend is removing the chairperson shall have 1 copy sent to each of the 7 commissioners within 24 hours after receipt of their consideration. In discussing this with some other counties, the commissioners have no input on this, and so that was a clear oversight on mine when I was recreating this, and that is the part I would like to strike out of our rules of procedure.
So moved.
Mary moves. Anyone second?
Second.
Second. All in favor to amend the rules of procedure, say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. Okay. Thank you very much. Okay, discussion maps. For those of you, I do have Mark Zicardo's map in front of us. And I do have his email as well. Didn't I forward that to you guys? Mark, did you send that to everybody?
I didn't.
No, I just sent it to you.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I have everyone's email, actually.
Well, I pretty much
It's
tried.
in a previous email. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Well, so, I will say, I'm just looking at your email real quick. You were trying to do something under the Bureau tool. Did you have any success with that? Mark?
Yeah, I did get a couple submitted there.
Yeah.
It took a little while to get used to that, but.
Yeah. So, let me, whoops. Several of us have our computer, so let me look up. What was your map named?
I got 3 on there, but the one that is, let me look again myself here. Yeah, the card E is, I was trying to figure it out, and I was like, let me start over. So the A and the B are the 2 kind of like drafts that I have submitted. The only difference is that one, and I mentioned in the text of my document there that I think you passed around, but it's just that weird little island in what is currently District 2. It's near Shiawassee City, but it is like this little island that is actually part of a precinct that's not at all connected to it to the east. And so I mentioned it in the document there, but I think there's a way for us to petition the Secretary of State to either exchange that or leave it as it is and leave that as an island. Any software is going to flag that and say, oh, your maps are not contiguous because we're going to have that little weird island. I don't think it's a big deal either way, but something for us to consider. So that's the only difference between my 2, is that one kind of leaves that as it is, and that is a little island not connected to it. And then the second one actually includes that in the precinct that it lies.
So, just so you know, I did forward your map to the city clerk, Amy Kirkland, who is in the audience today as well. Because it does, we've tried to work very closely with them so that they are the biggest, of course, jurisdiction in our county, and what we do affects them as well, and I kind of would like to coordinate with them as best we can, but she responded with the island that Mr. Zaccardo points out is property that is subject to a PA 425 agreement, tax sharing agreement, between the city of Owasso and Owasso Township. The current agreement could be in place until 2069. The property in question is an industrial property currently occupied by Woodard, so there's no voter population to be concerned about. So
Yeah,
that,
and I think I did notice that it showed population 0.
right,
So, I mean, I guess we just have, it's probably easiest to leave it as it is. The maps will say it's not contiguous, but it's not a big deal.
right, it would not be accepted if it could not be contiguous, because that is one of the criteria. But, so let's see, I have your first plan, I think, A up. I have to save it as something and then have it printed out. So if you guys, Mary, if you want to talk about your map, will I get his A and B plan? You said excuse me, did you say A and B are very similar? Or?
Yeah, they're the same, actually, so let's just, after our conversation about the strange little island, I believe it's B is the one.
Okay, let me go out and then look at B to print, because I'm gonna print it out for everybody.
Yeah, go ahead and do B, the Carter Plan B.
Okay. Zaccardo Plan B. It takes a few minutes. So if someone wants, I mean, Mary, do you
Yeah,
want?
well, mine is very similar to yours and Scott's. You know, they're probably all gonna need tweaked to a point, but population-wise, if you go into the statistics, we come out with a plus or minus of 4.15%. You know, because Shiawassee County leans more Republican than Democrat, and I can bring this up on I didn't use the same software.
Right.
And they didn't print off everything here, but I kept the format that we had before, basically, the outlines of where the districts stood. And some of them didn't change that much, like some didn't change at all.
Right.
One tweaked a little bit, and two, that's our concentration of population right there.
Can you hear everybody okay, Mark? Mark?
People besides you are pretty faint, but I can hear basically.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Zaccardo B, how many copies? I will do 5. Are you, is the audience wanting to see these as well? Because I'll have her print. Is that, yes or yes?
And
Okay.
Amy would.
Yeah. So. Okay, I just sent Zaccardo B to Morgan to print. So the one that you gave us, I just kind of named it Zaccardo because it is not in the tool. Okay, so then,
And that's, it's going to be the same as Carter Plan B, as a tool, the same tool.
okay. So then, did she print off a map of Scott's?
I've only got mine.
Let me go check with her.
And it didn't
Yeah,
print
because I
everything
can
like I
send
had.
her
but
Scott's
it'll
as
work.
well. I thought I did, but. I don't know, whose is that? I don't know,
This one's mine, it didn't print off everything.
so then it's Nordbeck, what is yours?
C.
Oh, Nordbeck C. Amy, would you mind bringing me a copy, please?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't even see it.
I didn't even, okay, so then this is Nord back C. Okay, so I'm going to go in.
That's the one who's talking about.
Sorry, it's just there was no way for us to, it's printing all these off. So then Nordbeck C, is this in the tool as well? This map, is it in our bureau tool?
Nope.
Okay, so then I will,
I did not put it on the Secretary of State
okay,
stuff, I put it on mine.
so Kerner D, yours is, okay, I'm gonna have that run. I thought I had her print that. I did send that to her.
That's that.
She was in the other room, so she wasn't seeing your email, so she's getting to him now, I believe.
Okay.
The big one.
Yeah, that was.
Okay, thank you, Brian. Which one? The big one is yours?
See, these reports that I'm running off have
Mine didn't come out with it
Population.
for some reason.
and has the breakdown per the district. And then each individual, it has a huge map with everybody, and then it has
Okay.
Okay,
individual.
so this one's yours, Carol?
No, that is not mine. Scott,
This
mine,
one's Scott's.
Scott's is printed,
Right.
so then
This
I
is
need,
Zach's.
I need a copy of
This one is
Scott's.
Baby's.
Oh,
Okay.
Scott's is printed in here?
Is Scott's, did you guys get it from here?
No, I'm really hoping.
Oh,
Could Scott
Copies
print
of Scott's.
three more?
Three.
Four.
Four more of Scott's?
Yes.
Is this one yours?
No, mine is going to come off right now. And I am a little, mine. I know.
Now we know.
Tell you what, the maps are not too bad, but it's when you get in the city and you got like 3 commissioners for the city.
Yeah, that's what we have currently though.
Yeah, I know. That's
Well,
what-
It's not gonna change.
It's not too bad when it's an entire precinct,
Mhm.
like, your proposal has, splits a couple of my current precincts, so I'd have to reconfigure everything.
Well, yeah, but that's something we can tweak too.
Yeah.
Right, but we don't then.
Oh, okay.
that's okay. Whose is this?
These are the second ones that you sent me. For the second of these ones. but I
Okay.
prepped one of the other
But
ones.
I'm sending to, they all look the same, so I don't know what name.
This one's not Scott's, this was the one you just sent me. Print. I don't know what the name was, but this one's not Scott's.
Sicarda,
Yes.
B.
Yep.
Thank you.
Sicarda B. Sicarda. Okay. Sicarda, permanent, and then Mary C. And then I'm sending you, I sent you Scott's.
I'm gonna print one.
Okay, and then I'm gonna send you mine.
I'm gonna print one of this one. This is Zicarda B? Yes. Yep.
Part of the. We have a.
I don't have a huge printer with ink, so that's part of the problem. thing what I was looking for last night to try and play with, like with my map, I was trying to determine streets because our current descriptions and everything give the northeast
Right,
corner
right.
street, blah, 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 and so I did not have enough time to, I mean, I can't see how this is user-friendly in that fashion. And I was going to contact the Bureau, they're being bombarded right now because everyone is trying to make their deadlines, to getting a better, like, how can I get a better description? Because,
Yeah, because mine, I gotta play with it, I think yours does too, you can get your block, you can get your city, you can get precincts drawn out.
right,
Some Scott's? Yep.
this is Scott. And Kerner, and what do we call this one? Kerner D, and she'll get my Wilson A. So, while we're waiting for her to provide, and Sorensen for the record did not do one, which I understand the frustration.
I did
so-
try, I contacted Caroline, I'm like, help.
Oh, it is,
And we just,
it's confusing.
yeah.
So, do we want to have any more conversation about Zakarda's map before we talk about one of the other maps initially? Because Nordbeck C did not have any, I mean,
I got it there, but for some reason it didn't print.
her reporting is not printing, we just have a colored map, which is kind of hard to determine.
Well, I tell you, one, your bluish color is 9,913 people.
Okay, wait a minute, say it again, 9,
9,913.
okay,
District 2 would be 9,700.
color?
The green.
green,
District 2.
the city of Owasso?
Yep, City of Wausau.
Okay.
9,731.
Okay,
The purple, which would be 3, 9,785.
9,785.
The pinkish colored one, 4, would be 9,656.
Okay, wait a minute, which color?
The pinkish one.
I kind of determined both, one's coral and one's more
One's
tan.
coral.
The coral one?
Yeah.
And that's District 4?
And then 4.
Okay.
5
Four
would be
is over
yellow.
on the right, isn't
I'd
it?
say 4 is this.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm not seeing her map,
This-
okay.
4 is, okay, what?
9,656. The yellow would be District 5, 9,575. District 6 would be the bluish color,
Turquoise?
the turquoise,
Okay.
9,515. And then the last one, the tan one, would be 9,919.
9919. Okay. Did you get those numbers, Scott? I mean, Mark, I know you don't see her map because she did not use the tool. I can forward that to you. Do you have your computer with you?
Yeah, I hope I'm kind of stuck here. I had internet, now I pulled up your map, the Wilson A, it's just loading for like 3-4 minutes now, so I'm not sure, but yeah, please forward me, anything that you have electronically of all those maps, and I assumed we would kind of take a week to review all these maps and then come back and, have a further discussion or
Right.
consideration this next week. I hear you voice that, but I assume that was kind of the plan.
Right, it was to kind of talk about them and then see where we went from here. I'm looking for Mary's, oh, it's in my inbox. Because her reports aren't coming up, okay. I'm gonna forward. I just sent you Mary's map C. She has a link. That's what that is.
Okay, I'll
So
take a look at
all
it.
we are looking at are the colored map. That's the only thing we are looking at. So if you bring it up, we will go through those numbers with you so that you can write as well if you weren't, cause you don't have what we have in front of us.
And I don't have one of those. I don't have one of Mary's.
But I'll forward it to you. That way you have something to write on. I mean, it's a link that you can look at.
Okay, or can I have Morgan just make a copy of yours?
I don't care.
Or Morgan print one off if we're,
If you don't want the color. I have a
Oh.
number.
oh, Morgan doesn't need color?
I can send that to her. She can bring up the link.
Okay, that'll work.
Okay, so then we have Mary's with the numbers. Do we wanna move on to the Kerner map? Kerner D as in dog.
Here,
Yes,
I was just gonna ask about Mary's, so the numbers, I got it, I clicked on the link, I'm looking at the map,
Yes.
for districting. Are there numbers that are, I mean, I see the numbers here for each district, was there some type of alteration, or?
It doesn't like to forward and print everything.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
It doesn't like to, you know, when I go to send the link, for some reason it doesn't pick up everything.
Okay, I see all the numbers here, for the district, so I think it came through and it's fine on my end here
Okay.
for a while.
Okay.
so do you need us to go, I mean, so you have the numbers for each district.
Yep, I can see it all.
Okay. One thing I will bring to the attention of those that are in the public, when we're working with this, the mapping will not let us accept a map if it does not follow all the criteria. So the maps that we have before us and that we're looking at, these have been maps that the bureaus gave us green checks on all the 6 different categories that we had to follow to make sure it was gonna jive. So, just so you understand that. Okay, so we're going to look at Kerner D. Do you have that up on your,
Now get it up.
well, Mark, are you able to,
Yes, I did, I have that one up.
okay. And so, in looking at, on the very front sheet when we have the districts listed separately, I do have notated on mine. The city of Ovid, I have to make a call to our street index guy at the bureau because I thought the city of Ovid, we only had 2 voters that ever were affected, and I thought that last year or 2019 that Clinton County resolved that portion to be Clinton County and no longer on that line, and those 2 voters were kind of taken into Clinton County. So I see it's also listed on Scott's, and so I am going to make a note that I'm calling and finding out if that needs to even be listed under the Shiawassee County mapping at all, just for everyone's attention. And so I'm going to jump to the page where it has the districts listed with the population. We are close.
I think we've got the same population. I think the difference in my map and your map is I use Delaney Road, maybe a little more compact, and you use 52. That's why yours is a little different shape.
Well, and so this is the thing, I could not, by the time I was playing, I could not see the lines of where my roads were because I just preliminarily looked at when they were breaking the districts down, who was affected and how, because I grabbed my directory and looking at how the commissioners are listed and what jurisdictions they are representing. And I kind of didn't necessarily like that. I will use an example. In District 1, Scioto gets split. And where else is Scioto? Scioto is also in 6. Because District 1 and District 6 were the 2 that were most affected per my map, because the 6 had such a population increase, almost over 2,000. That is really where, for me, when I was playing around with things, was the easiest and less invasive. However, I am looking at the city of Owasso in District 2, and then I see city of Owasso, in District 1, Part 6. I didn't have time to really like dig in to see what portion was what portion for the city of Owasso. And I know that city of Owasso has 3 commissioner
Yeah.
representation. So I didn't have a chance to check and see if this is still coinciding. Yes, Amy?
It looks the same as what we currently have,
Great.
except for there's like 2 very small tweaks that are, they're no big deal.
Okay. So, that's the one thing I was taking was the very first sheets, the districts, one that point out the different townships and cities that are affected. That's what I was kind of looking at. Scott's and mine are very, very similar. And they both meet the criteria, but I think that if everyone, like Mark is saying, we kind of are going through our maps to explain them and then come back next week
And decide on one, yeah.
and decide on one. Mark, are you okay with that?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Because we're kind of all just really, another thing I'm gonna explain is that the Bureau, as of Friday, just had their reports working. So all this time, we've been playing with maps with no reports to be able to compare anything. So, yes, Kay, did you wanna ask?
Oh, I'm just listening.
Okay. Because Woodhull Township, I haven't had a chance to kind of look to see if that was split. My concern with Woodhull Township was because the numbers grew, and last year, they really should have gone into 2 precincts because it was just over by like almost 200 voters, and I chose to pick my battles with the craziness and thought we have apportionment coming, we have legislation talking about whether they're expanding the number for a precinct size, and I thought, why do we want to put you guys through all of that? So I thought, we'll ride this out. Was that a good thought?
And it worked well.
It did work.
So that is the one thing, I know you guys are feeling the growth in your community, which is great, but that is that's why District 6 grew, was really Woodhull Township. So, anyway, to explain that, the reports literally just came out on Friday. Now, I'm sure these guys weren't working over the weekend, I was, but it wasn't my focus because I still had issues, and then I sent an email. I jumped in on Saturday at 5:30 and then sent an email to the Bureau, still having issues, and they were with me on the phone first thing yesterday morning. So, I apologize for, I feel like it's discombobulated here, but
It's overwhelming.
that's why, is we haven't had a chance to like really look. You feeling the same way?
Sure.
Okay.
My mind in my mapping that I was trying to do would have been very similar to Scott's than here, just moving that between 1 and 6, that, those numbers.
Right. So I would like to be able to kind of compare our 2 to see what is most affected. Because I can't quite tell, like you said, you're using what, 50, I'm using 52, and I don't know that I could tell what line I was using. I was just trying.
I think you use 52, I use Delaney.
Right.
That's why your shape, mine is kind of square and a little bit more packed, and yours kind of angled.
Yeah, and I was trying not to do that. Oops. Second one isn't stable. Scott, Mark, do you have any questions? Oh, I see.
No, other than, I guess I just would say too that, I guess, flipping through the different maps here, my map looks the most, distinguished, I guess, from the others. And I would just invite everyone to, have an open mind as they look at this. I know you can't erase this space that you have out of your mind of what the districts were like before. And it's kind of like space that large, like, okay, well, this is District 1, so we'll still kind of make this District 1 and maybe add a little here, subtract a little there. But the last map was not a very good map. It had a lot of breaks that I don't think were necessary breaks.
Whose map? Which one?
The have an opportunity to make a lot better maps, a lot fewer breaks, and that's one thing too that I think one of the biggest criteria we should use to evaluate these is how many breaks there are and how well we can keep, you know, certain areas, townships, precincts together. So, I don't know if people, if there's a rationale or if there's been a discussion, I guess, I don't think there has been yet today, of number of breaks, and you know, with analysis over the next week, we can all look and figure that out to ourselves, but I don't know if people wanted to kind of mention here as we discuss how many breaks their map submission or submissions have.
So does, I mean, let me grab your one from the tool.
And the problem is, it's hard to tell. You know, you can't just like, at least I can't, look at a map and be like, oh, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 breaks. Especially with the state tool. Because I don't think that, and probably Mary would agree with me, I don't think that's anywhere near as user-friendly as that Dave through district. And I didn't even see where they allowed you to use precincts, unless I was missing something.
I didn't
Like
either.
50 township villages, and then they go to census blocks, which is not very handy. It would be very nice to be able to select precincts. And of course you want to keep precincts together. And so the fact that they don't allow you to select those, am I missing something or do they not, is that correct?
I did not, I'm with you, I was not able to see a precinct tab or anything like that, because that's one of the things I was concerned with, because my focus is really, and this maybe is why it contradicts with your thought process in the sense of, I work elections. I know what it takes to, when we have a ballot style and we have a ballot split, and right now with Caledonia, 23 voters is for District 5, and then there's District 3 involved, and if when I have 23 voters, I have to have a whole nother ballot style. It's expensive for that local jurisdiction. So in my mind, and you guys wouldn't necessarily understand that, that's one of the reasons why I was looking for the simplicity of kind of keeping our districts the same, because I know the cost and the effect on our locals. So I'm going to spend some time, now that I have full staff, I'll be able to really kind of focus, and because that's one of my big concerns. I'm trying to look at less splits, and some of them just aren't going to be able to happen. Like Woodhull, I haven't been able to really see, does that affect commissioners? And do I have a little block that will be, like I said, Caledonia has 23, do I have that same situation with Woodhull Township in making it bigger, smaller, and increasing Owasso Charter Township? And that's where I didn't get a chance to look at things. But that is one of the things I am very focused on, because I do work with the locals on that level. So that's my explanation as to why I'm kind of trying to keep things as invasive as possible.
That's kind of my goal too.
Mm-hmm.
Elections are very expensive, and every time there is a new ballot style, the local municipality has to pay for a programming split and a ballot split. And programming is $350 per ballot style, $350 per ballot style. And then the minimum ballots we can order is a 50, that they have a threshold of at least 50. So that's one of the points that kills us. We have a minimum we can order, and ballots are expensive. People do not realize how expensive ballots are. Anyway, so all the programming and everything, that's one of my things. And I know some of it won't be able to be prevented, but I will look thoroughly at yours, because just because something was the way it was doesn't mean it shouldn't be changed. So that's my explanation. Go ahead.
I would say, thanks for that, and I look at that, I know that there's lots of criteria we're looking at, and you gotta have some break. So the fact that we have 7 commissioners, districts, and, and using that against our population, I mean, you just can't make some of these places work. One of the things I put in my rationale, I mean, in the perfect world, is like all of Owasso City to be a one commissioner's district, which you can't, because we have, you know, around 9,700 we're looking at for each district, and there's way more people than, so you gotta split up a lot of those somehow, for one example, so.
Right.
Just the fewer breaks we can have, the better, you know, it'll be for elections going forward.
Right.
Consideration.
And with that mindset right now, City of Owasso has 3 commissioner representatives. And if we were trying, like you said, trying to minimize it and making it 1, doesn't that kind of go against the thinking that we're trying to get more representation into our areas as opposed to giving one person that kind of, I know that Owasso, it's going to have some kind of break, but I'm thinking right now they have 3. To take it even down to 2 might be something that, for me, is like, I like the fact that there are 3. I think living in the city of Owasso, understanding our constituents like that they have 3. I don't know that, I'm just talking. I like it 3 as opposed to lessening the representation but just conversation. Anyone else? Do you have anything else to talk about with your map, Mark?
No, that's good for now, thanks.
Okay. Okay, there's Zakarta. Scott, do you have anything other than, my map is very similar to Kerner's map, and I've had my explanation. Does anyone else have any input?
Probably I'll go home and tweak it a little bit more.
So
We have time.
right now, the maps that we have before us, I have Wilson 1A, Kerner D, Zakarta B. You want to stick with Zakarta B for us to really mull through? Mark?
Yes, Carter Plan B, yep, Carter Plan B.
Okay. And, Mary, your C?
Map C.
Are you able, would you mind trying to play with
Oh, I can
your
tweak- I can
report to
tweak it.
see,
Yeah.
see if you can get your reports to kind of send
Yeah.
something to us?
I can play with it at home, well, I know how to send them now.
Okay.
The link.
Okay. Mark, watch for Mary's, when I do something as a commission, it's a matter of, including everybody. So maybe that's how you'll have everybody's emails?
Yes,
So-
I wasn't thinking earlier, I can go back and forth with Dee when you send us all, but
When I
find anyone in particular.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not going to forward, these maps are in our tool in the Bureau, other than Mary's. If
And
she,
Black Sheep.
I have that link, you have played with that
He's used it.
same redistricting mapping, so you might know how to better look at reports and stuff. I am unfamiliar with it, so I was asking her to maybe be able to send us something giving us more explanation.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find out.
Does that make sense?
Yes, yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have that one, like I say, that link came through, and then she sent the email of Mary 2 is the title. So,
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess if you alter that and want to just email out an alteration, if it's not on the state tool that we can all see, then
Okay.
I appreciate that.
So we have Mary C, we have Wilson 1A, Kerner D, and Zakarta B as maps. Do you guys have all those maps? So you can let us know which one you don't have.
Yeah,
Wilson.
Oh, did she ever bring us?
I don't think so.
No.
We'll get that for you. Okay, any other discussion on the mapping? So our understanding going forward is that we are all going to mull through and look at our maps and possibly take a final vote on the 6th, or do we have more discussion on the 6th in the morning and set another meeting for a final vote and open to the public that same week? I'm thinking that same week.
Morgan said she emailed you, she printed one, you have a Caroline map?
No, I
No.
don't have anything from Morgan.
She thought she did.
What are people, Julie stepped out for a minute, hold on, Mark.
I wish there was a way we could look at one of the old maps and see more information on that instead of just the color one.
Oh, it's on the, I gave it to you in the first
Right, right,
organizational.
right.
Has all the descriptions
Right.
and everything. That's what we
No,
have.
I've seen all that. And that's how I worked a lot of this.
And then that's when I gave everyone a map in the tool.
And you
What
gave us a bigger one.
I gave everyone the initial map that the county was under right now for them to work with plain, kind of
But
like,
it'd be
here's
fun
what
to
we
see-
have, here's what you
But it'd
need.
be fun to see it on here to where it's
It is.
easier. I haven't looked at it on.
Oh, your tool, not the,
Well, I can go to the state one.
okay.
That's what I
She's
want
not
to
sure
play
what
with.
to print.
Okay,
I've been out of town.
did you get one that said Wilson in
I
the
got
subject?
one that you forwarded me from Mary.
Right, okay, let me send you another,
Okay.
it may not have, now I timed out.
So, Mary, is that yours right there?
Could be. I can't
Yeah,
tell.
then it
Yes,
is.
it is.
Okay.
That's my one.
I was like, I don't get that one.
And that's the one we were looking at.
Yeah.
Okay. Reports, let's try this. Shiawassee, Wilson, 180. Maps, that's why yesterday I went in and deleted it. I thought, oh my gosh, I can hardly focus.
So this is yours.
Yeah. But see how that looks? I got all that and that doesn't come up with any of it. Because I can put precinct, I can put city, and see how it highlights. And then
Okay,
precincts.
so,
I think I have it here where they're supposed to show it. I'll play with it.
Okay.
Northern, Wilson, 1A. Oh, it could have been me, I could have said don't send. I mean, with no but I have a subject line, so I don't know why it didn't. Okay, so, because you walked out of the room, I was saying that our next meeting is scheduled for October 6th at 9 a.m. That is Wednesday the 6th. Yes, and it's here. Do we want to come with our final discussion and then selecting the map? And then we do need to do another meeting to the public in the evening. And I was thinking that during that week, if it's on a Wednesday evening, well, I'm up for thoughts because I didn't realize, I need 18 hours to post it. So, Mark, do you have your calendar up?
Yeah,
Okay. So,
yeah, you're looking at maybe either a Thursday, or, I mean, I don't assume you wanna do it on a Friday evening, or is that possible?
I can't do the 7th in the evening, I got a meeting.
okay, you can't do it 7 in the evening. What time is your meeting?
7?
So, if we did it at 5:30, or you, too close?
I just have to be out of here, because I'm usually ready for my meetings.
So then if we have a meeting on the 6th in the morning, and we come ready to make a determination and do a vote with a map, then to do Thursday, I'm not opposed to doing something on a Friday at all.
I'm not either.
But I'm not opposed to doing something like 5:30 on the 7th. I would just have my notice out pretty quick,
Right, right.
to make a final determination and permission to then upload and send things by the weekend to the state.
Yeah,
what-
because then they have to validate everything. decide if it's good enough too, so.
It's validated in the tool.
Right.
It's us just doing a resolution. So, is that too quick though, to make a determination on the sixth in the morning, to turn around and then do another meeting on the 7th in the evening?
So that's Wednesday the 7th, that works for me, and
No,
I don't,
Wednesday is the 6th, we have
Oh.
9 AM.
The
That
seventh,
meeting-
I
I
wrote
just
down.
I have a meeting and I normally get there about 6:30.
So do you think, I mean, is that too rushed? Because then we move to the 11th, which is Columbus
And
Day,
that's our Reagan Day dinner, and I'm not gonna be around.
and then everything
And then
is
it's-
due the
I know.
12th.
right.
So,
Yeah.
we haven't talked about, we haven't talked about this whole wanting an extension and jumping on Livingston County. So do we wanna halt on setting the next meeting and have that conversation?
Yeah, maybe we should.
Okay, we're gonna stop talking about the next meeting for a minute, Mark. And, my thought is this whole deadline issue has been a problem right from the very beginning.
Yeah, and they've not been consistent in the dates.
They have not, and we have not had an attorney here other than the first meeting. I don't know that, I've asked other counties, what is the purpose of having an attorney? Larger counties have concern because they have more political issues
Mhm.
with determination of commissioners being pitted against each other. This is the talk that I'm hearing, and they have more demographics with Republican Democrat, which again, this is a number thing to me, so I don't know why that plays into it, but other larger counties are concerned for being sued. I don't know that we have anything to worry about with that. So my piece would be if we can set meetings and we are here, we come next week ready to really make a final decision, I don't see the need to ask to go on someone else's Livingston County's
I think
motion.
I think we'll be okay, because we're getting it down to where we're studying everybody's map now. We all know where we might need to tweak it, or whatever. And now it's just study time and make it.
Or do we wanna change next week's, I know your schedule, I mean, I don't know your schedule, I know it's crazy. Or do we wanna change the Wednesday meeting, I can make, because the apportionment is my focus. I could do something on Tuesday afternoon.
I'm open on the 5th.
I am too.
What time are we thinking then? Cause then we change our Saturday morning. Mark, are you, okay, hold on, we're jumping, I'm sorry. This is my bad, Caroline. We are going to still strive to keep our October 11th to submit everything to the state.
Yes.
Yes.
Are we all in agreement to that? Mark, what are your thoughts?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So then is, the 5th, what time would people be available to meet?
I'm available anytime.
I am too.
Mark, Scott?
I just want to clarify,
You
can you
blame?
hear me?
No, keep talking.
So you were saying keep the meeting on the 6th and adding a meeting on the 5th?
No, I was thinking about
Or
moving our
move it.
6th meeting
Okay.
in the morning to the 5th, and then giving us the 6th to do it in the evening, and or to have a conversation about the 7th. But,
Yeah, that's fine with me.
That works for me.
which part? The
Just
5th?
to have a morning meeting in the 5th and then move the 6th meeting to the evening? Is that what you were saying?
I was thinking the afternoon on the 5th.
Oh, okay.
Can you do the afternoon?
Sure.
Could we do 2 p.m.?
Sure.
I'm coming in from Mount Pleasant, so 2 p.m. on October the 5th? Okay, hang on. Scott, you just are gonna roll with it and make it happen?
I'm making it.
to Surbeck Building
At 2.
at 2 p.m. on the 5th. Okay. Why is this not changing? Okay. And then on the 6th, do we want to move our 9 a.m. meeting into the afternoon?
Were we gonna try an
Evening,
Yeah.
sorry, evening. Or do we wanna do the 7th?
I would shoot for the 6th, Wednesday the 6th in the evening.
Mark,
That's fine.
Wednesday the 6th at what time? 5:30 or 6?
Can we do 5:30?
We could, Mark,
Or would
Five-
public rather have
Yeah.
6?
5:30?
5:30? So we're moving Wednesday the 6th to 5:30 p.m.
Correct.
Okay.
Let me change, we're putting this all in my time. Okay. Tuesday the 5th, we will meet in the afternoon at 2 p.m. in the Civic Building. Wednesday the 6th, we will meet at 5:30 with the intention of doing a final vote on the map and approving a resolution and going forward. Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
So Tuesday
Sounds good.
the 5th, we will really mull over our maps and come with determined decision on which map we like best. We're all on the same page?
Yes.
Okay, great. Then it is to reflect in the minutes that we have talked and we will not join the Livingston County
Correct.
motion at all,
Keeping our original
keeping
deadline.
our original deadline.
Mhm.
Okay. Mark, do you have anything to add before I go into the next call to the public?
No, thank you.
Okay. Okay, well, anyone from the public like to speak? And we have Dr. Boggs.
Just one thing, putting on my City of Durand hat. I'm not particularly thrilled with Mark's map and the way that it captures Durand. And perhaps this is an artifact of not having anyone from the region or on the board that is from the eastern side of the county. But all of our development and growth that we've had many discussions about that have been in the newspaper and everything, is all happening in this northern area where he cuts it off into another area. Our growth is all happening to the north, and this is about moving into the future for the next 10 years. And so I think that misses an important part. If it shifted further to the north, that might be more helpful and advantageous to Durand's development. But as it stands now, we will then become a divided entity with two different commissioners as we have growth.
Did you hear all that, Mark?
Because we have options on all this land.
He's saying that a lot of the growth in the Durand area has been to the north, and that's that line that splits the 5th into the 6th on my map.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yes, did you hear him?
No,
Okay.
I didn't.
Yep, I caught it then. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. All right. Anyone else? Okay, then I will accept a motion for adjournment,
I'll move to adjourn.
and we are adjourned 10:01. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks for your accommodation and calling me, and hope it worked out okay.
Okay, have safe travels.